What's going on, guys? Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. What are you thankful for? Are you thankful for family? Are you thankful for friends or your furry pets like my Simon, who I rescued probably 8 years ago, I believe, a day before Thanksgiving? So Simon, I love you. And this video is, I'm thankful for the Mini 5 Pro as well. I got two of these guys. I flew one yesterday, this guy, in 63 mile an hour gusts. It was kind of crazy. Didn't go amazingly well, but it did fly. But I want to talk to you guys about a feature I've been using on drones for a long time, and I feel like not a lot of people have talked about it. I've been talking about it for a long time, from probably the very get-go of this feature, which is cruise control. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but I'm a huge advocate and fan of cruise control. And the one problem with this controller is to program it, you need to use the function button, which is up here. And on the RC2 and RC2 Pro and whatever, the newer controllers, which I have one coming tomorrow, I believe, or Friday or something. I don't even know what day it is. Is it Thursday? Yeah, I think it's Thursday. So tomorrow I have a Flymore Combo Plus coming with the RC2. And I don't really love that controller either because my palms always hit the frickin' screen and pop me out of the Fly app. So I don't know if you guys experienced that. If you do, please let me know in the comments below, because I feel like not a lot of people mention that, and it really is annoying to me. Maybe it got big palms or something, but regardless, it's easy to customize to C1 or C2. So when you're flying and you're on the sticks, you simply boop and you engage cruise control. Now cruise control, whoop, pardon me, I didn't even eat yet. Okay, so cruise control, a little blip is you can program the button, the function button, on this guy on the RCN3 controller or RCN2 or RCN1. So it's not easy to be flying and then to kind of like reach around and press that. So it's kind of weird that they don't have. I wish on this controller they had a custom button for that feature alone, but I digress. We have what we have here. If you have the RC2, then yes, it's a lot easier to be flying on the sticks and simply press the button to engage cruise control. So just like cruise control on a motorcycle or a car, it can be very handy. It doesn't mean you shouldn't pay attention to your drone and what it's doing or your airspace, have visual line of sight on the drone. Just like on my motorcycle, if I have cruise control engaged, it's not like I should be off the handlebars and just messing around on my phone or something. I still should have one hand on the handlebar or on the brake or on the throttle, whatever. So similar kind of thing, pay attention. But let's just go ahead really quickly. It's a Thanksgiving quick tutorial. I don't want to go too much into this, but let me see what the winds are actually. The winds have been really bad. I actually jumped in the lake this morning. It was 33 degrees and 42 degree water temp, so pretty darn cold. But it was a quick little swim just to kind of do a little cold plunge. And the winds right now are not amazing. So can you see that? So 27 to 39 mile an hour gusts. So we're going to see how this thing handles in those winds and gusts, as well as the cruise control tutorial. So the cruise control tutorial is the premise of the video. Handling it in kind of higher winds is going to be another little factor. So we're going to go ahead and power the drone on. When you do fly in high winds, be very mindful of what mode you're in, because a lot of times you're going to not want to be in cine mode. You're going to want to be in normal or sport mode to cut through the winds, similarly to cutting through a current in the ocean. God, it is pretty windy. But let's just talk about this really quickly. I'm going to power on the drone. I'm going to be mindful of the winds, right? Because we know it's a windy day. I'm going to start a screen recording once this thing is mounted. And a lot of people don't like these controllers and say I heard someone say, I gotta itch my eye, say it's kind of like a peasant controller, but I don't agree. It is kind of a basic controller, and these stupid new iPhones, this is the iPhone 17 Pro Max. It does not really fit well in the cradle. But if you keep it off to the side, like so, it is pretty fine. And I don't use big cases like an OtterBox or something, so this is just an inexpensive average case for like 30 bucks. And it sticks, it's kind of soft rubber, and you can see right here, it works perfectly fine. So I'm going to go into the Fly app, I'm going to start my screen recording. So it says 3, 2, 1. There we go. Fly app. Go fly. I'm going to depress it right now. We're going to make sure we establish a home point. But first, before I even launch the drone, I'm going to make sure this thing's going again. It is. We're going to go into the top upper right-hand corner, these 3 little dots, and depress it with our finger. Boom. And then we're going to go into control, and we're going to scroll down. Doo-doo-doo-doo. And we're going to go to function key. So you see right now it's set to cruise control. It may not be set to anything. It may be set to none. But you can adjust this to have different things. But we're going to do cruise control because that's what we want. And where are you again? Cruise control. Boom. So I set that. It's cruise control. And when I double press this, I use it to toggle my auxiliary light on and off for when I'm night flying. So to me, that's a really nice way of utilizing the function button, at least on these RCN231 controllers. But let's get this guy in the air, and we'll talk a little bit about this. And hopefully it won't be too crazy. There's a couple little combines in front of me, so I figured it would be a nice little subject matter.
Takeoff.
Okay.
Home point updated.
There we go. We're gonna
Obstacle sensing unavailable. Fly with caution.
We're gonna use sport mode. And the nice thing about sport mode is it cruises through the winds. It disables obstacle avoidance. So if you want to just kind of get really quickly somewhere, it's a nice little mode just to blip in and out of. And what I do is I set my yaw speed to be very, quick.
Obstacle sensing unavailable. Fly with caution.
Let me lower this volume. So as you see, boom, really quickly. So if I want to toggle, each mode has its purpose. Cine is for slower movements, slower gimbal, so I can move the camera slowly up and down. Normal is going to be a little bit more moderate speed, and sometimes I'll even adjust the gimbal to roll pretty slow in that. But sport mode is essentially to get from point A to point B quickly, to scan the sky, to look around, to get the gimbal up and down quickly, and kind of that's that. So each mode you can custom tailor and dial in for your liking. And okay, the wind looks like it's tweaking this thing a little bit. Look at the gimbal. Let me see. The horizon is not level. That's kind of annoying. Let me try to recenter the gimbal. Oh, that would be under control. Recenter gimbal. It's still kind of cockeyed. So we'll be mindful of that. I don't know if I need to do anything. Let me see. The wind is definitely ripping. It's not a light wind. But there we go. Say we're trying to get a shot. This thing's kind of blowing around a little bit. But if we want to start getting a movement, what we can do is, let's just say we want to do a little orbit around these. We need to get something for a company. We're going to do a little orbit. And I'm going to be mindful of where my finger is so I can depress the function button, hit the function button once. Now cruise control is enabled. So now that this is going and doing its thing, we can go ahead and update the home point by adding another movement, which is pretty cool. So it's not going to be perfect right now because of the winds, but say we want to raise up altitude a little bit and maybe go backwards a little bit. So down on the right stick and up on the left stick. I'm going to hit the function button again. And it will actually update the cruise control, which is pretty darn cool. But what's new and exciting with the Mini 5 Pro is we can now lock in the gimbal movement, which is new, specific only to the Mini 5 Pro. So say we go ahead and let's just roll down on the gimbal. Again, this movement or shot is not looking great, but if I roll down on the gimbal, you got to do a quick little press of, it should be rolling down the gimbal. Maybe it's not. Let me roll the gimbal down a little bit, or the camera. And I've been having a little tricky thing with this. If you hit the function button to update it while you're doing the gimbal movement just a little too long, it won't actually lock in and it kind of cancels out of the entire thing. So let's try this again. Again, it's not ideal doing or utilizing cruise control when it's this windy out with a little mini drone, but we're going to go ahead and try. Boom. Cruise control enabled. Now let me go ahead and I'm just going to focus on only this. Here we go. Roll down with the wheel. So I'm going to go left. There we go. Now it's going down, as you see. So, pretty darn cool that we can actually move the gimbal. But again, when you're depressing this, it's not a long hold at all. It's literally just a boop, and it should update it with the gimbal movement in. So kind of exciting. That's new, and again, only with the Mini 5 Pro. Mavic 3 Pro doesn't do it. Air 3S doesn't do it. So let's try one more time. We'll do it a little bit more. Where are you, little guy? Where is this little guy? They're so hard to see, these little drones.
Obstacle sensing unavailable.
Do,
Fly
do,
with
do,
caution.
do. Where are you? There you are. So let's just try to get like a low shot. Let me go on the other side. It's lit better with the sun. Okay, come on. So a nice little John Deere combine. We're going to go into normal mode, or I'm going to go into cine mode. I'll start recording just to get a shot. And I kind of have to be really weird with my stick knowing I'm going to depress this. But the nice thing is I can start a movement and then get cruise control locked in and then maybe add another movement. I mean, this isn't perfect. I don't know what it is with the winds. We're going to cancel out of this. And you can cancel out of it by hitting this X right here on the screen on the left-hand side, or you just simply toggle out of the modes by going into a different mode. So if you're in Cine, go in the normal or sport. If you're in sport, go in the normal or Cine, that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and try one more time. You're starting out with a little simple orbit. There we go. Now it's doing its own thing, nothing on the sticks. I'm going to raise up an altitude. Depress the function button again. Now we're raising altitude slowly. And now I'm going to roll down on the gimbal. Let me see. And it kind of does like a weird pause. So it's kind of a weird thing. I don't really love the way it does it, but you can utilize it creatively on a less windy day and probably get something cool. But this is really great if you're doing, say, a shot where you need to go continuously in a straight line, or maybe you're flying a property line, or maybe you're just doing a simple movement, going back and forth or going down the skyline or something. So if you're just doing a really simple movement and you just don't want to necessarily be on the sticks, and again, sometimes manually flying the drone will result in better shots and footage than utilizing cruise control. It's not going to be something that you can rely on all the time, but it will be something that you can utilize and know that it's in your tool bag on occasion, and it will make life a little bit easier. So let me try to actually get one darn shot. So say we're just trying to get a shot like this. Just panning down, and we're just going to cruise. Hit cruise control, and there we go. We got a simple little movement. It can go for as long as we want. And then if we want to stop it, I don't even ever really touch the screen. I just simply toggle into a different flight mode, and there we go, we're out of it. So that is a nice little safe, quick feature. If you ever freak out or something and want to get out of cruise control quickly, just toggle out or toggle into another flight mode. So say we want to do something again, like we're doing an outro shot for a business. So here, we're going to go over here. Be nice if we had John Deere as a client. But we'll start. We're going to go up a little bit on the left stick and fly backwards. And we're going to get a little movement going. Depress the function button. And there we go. Now we're doing a little outro. Now we're going to go update the home point by pushing left a little bit on the left stick and just kind of doing that little movement. And now we're going to update the cruise speed, and there we go. So now we're going backwards, we're going up in altitude, and we're kind of moving a little bit to whatever direction that is. Now we're going to try to roll the gimbal down, or the camera down. And there we go. It just has this weird pause when you're doing that, and I'm not sure if that's just the way it is, but it seems like it kind of breaks up the footage, so just be mindful of that. I don't know. I mean, I'm still playing around with it. It's a relatively new drone for me, but you see that it is moving the camera down, and you can get a shot. Okay, now I'm above 400 feet. I'm going to come back down. And with these winds, you want to break through the winds and be in sport mode. So here we go. But just be mindful of the fact that we have cruise control, and we can start. My suggestion would be to start with a simple movement, and then you can update the movement by doing another stick input. And then from there, if you want to really try something, try to add the gimbal movement and see if you have any luck. So we're going to go low to kind of get through the winds. And this thing is just cooking the battery too. So if it's a windy day, especially with these little drones, or any drone really, you want to have a full battery. And we're going to kind of break through this like we're breaking through currents and just kind of fight our way back. So you want to pay attention to the wind direction, for example, if you're going against a headwind or tailwind. Whoop. And I got a screen recording stop because I had a friend just call right now. But that's essentially it. Utilize cruise control when the time is right. I would suggest using it for simple movements, like just up and down movement or panning or doing something simple. And then if you want to build on it, know that you can update the cruise speed. And yeah, that's it. And be again mindful of the fact that you can now with the Mini 5 Pro actually use the camera gimbal to lock in to cruise control as well. So that's it. A little simple quick tutorial. Happy Thanksgiving, guys, and aloha.